Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, a team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into a Thursday edition of the YSN Live podcast. DJ Yoakley and Anthony Ronald Hartwig with you. Anthony, how are you, buddy?
We're doing good. We're recovering from last night. There was only one game played in YSN family, and it was far away in Dalton, which you made the trip to, buddy. Congratulations on that. That was what, like a 2-hour drive for you? It took an hour and a half to me.
There was a point where I just said, Jesus, take the wheel. Buddy, I probably texted the athletic director of Dalton 6 times, Coach Farron a couple times, to where we were just calling each other because I could not believe the game was being played. I was shocked. Like every step of the way, I'm like, okay, if it's canceled here, I'm okay. Just turn around and go home. If it's canceled here, I'm still okay. Turn around. If it's canceled here, I'm going to be mad.
I'm going to be really
canceled now. I'm going to be, I was heated. Get there. Anthony, I'm kidding. I kid you not. You get to that point where you jump on, I don't know what the road is, but you're just outside of Massillon.
Okay.
And it was like 2 different countries. Like the heavens and earth opened up and just dumped on our region, which on the way there, visibility low to say the least.
Right.
I mean, people are pulled over in their cars, like not dealing with it. The YSN Toyota Tundra, though, we kept on trucking.
You know it.
We're not going to miss this. My biggest fear was they were going to cancel it when we got there. And I want to first apologize to those because we did advertise the game that we were going to have it. Here's what happened. So what happened was I get to the game, got a little bit of flack from the guy taking tickets because he wanted me to buy a ticket. And I was like, we're okay. Like I talked to your athletic director. Well, okay. But so I got in, eventually went down. There was no setup at all. Like we were all on our own, which is fine. We've done it before. I'm not complaining or harping on anybody. But didn't bring a table because the table would have to go in the truck that obviously that was soaked. The bed was soaked. Didn't have a tent, didn't have anything. So there's a little bit of ill preparedness on my part, but I also received a text that, hey, this is, excuse me, this game's going to start at 5:30 because of the rain. At 4:51, still not at the field, just getting there. Hey, we're going to start this at 5. Oh, crap. Okay.
Oh, crap.
All right. We've gone on late before. Figure it out. But then you walk in and you can't get in on time. We're getting a little bit of grief. I'm looking around. I'm like, where am I going to set up? I found a bench. It's like Dalton's field is like in a hole, like in a I don't want to say a ditch. It's literally it's like somebody cut into a hill, and there's this beautiful ballpark. You've been there, right?
No, I've not been to Dalton softball, so
Okay,
but it
so
kind of the Hubbard's kind of like that because they're parking lot and then you go down a big hill to get to their field. So I kind of get where you're going.
and it's not on campus, by the way.
Right.
It's not far, but it's not on campus. So
Okay.
you've got this hill. It goes down into the outfield, which then obviously leads in the infield, and then the backstop, all that stuff. Beautiful, beautiful facility. But I'm looking around. I'm like, where am I going to set up that this broadcast is going to be worthwhile at all? To my knowledge, nobody's ever been there to broadcast a softball game. So they've got these benches along left field going into center field. So I get onto a bench, literally get everything set up. I look up, here comes the rain. Giant gray cloud right over us. I am just out in the wilderness by my lonesome. And I'm like, all right, just hang on. I tried to like do the cover over my stuff. Just getting soaked, just getting wet. Sean Wardle comes over. Hey, I can get you an umbrella. I was so mad. I was just like, no, we're not doing this. I'm going to go down and do the highlights. This stinks. Like I'm thinking that the rain that I just went through is following us up there. And we're about a minute after absolutely getting nuked by rain. So I get everything packed up again. And I go to the highlight, like the old school, like we used to do, like go to the game, shoot highlights.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the route we went. And long story longer, I guess I didn't shorten that at all. I apologize for not getting the game out, but dude, people don't know the resiliency we have in those moments to go as long as we can,
Right?
And then start looking at all the open outlets and the rain coming down and water dripping into the outlets, and you're like, at some point this becomes.
I don't want to die today.
I don't want to practice Benjamin Franklin or was it Ben Franklin that did
with the kite up in a lightning storm with the key.
Did I get it?
Yeah. Ben Franklin discovered electricity.
No,
the hard way.
What Thomas Edison do? I thought he discovered
telephone.
No,
he invented the light bulb. There's already electricity. He just used
electricity. Edison's he's one of those jump on the back of your
and he kind of rode the coattails of Tesla. If you really study history, he just got all the credit. But
Edison's my kind of guy.
Yeah,
Edison's just a better marketer than everybody.
Exactly. He's a better salesman, better marketer.
Hey, Tommy Ed, we're here for you, baby. Nice job. Well done. But I will say I got a little bit nervous last night. So we packed up. We did the highlights. I got 2 home runs. Not 1. 2 home runs. Go. And by the way, the South Range seniors, 4 of them, this is their 4th district championship.
Yep. 6 in a row, guys.
Sweep it up, baby.
6 in a row, all the way back to 2000 and what is that, 19, because we skipped COVID year. So 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
So we have Riley DeChancio on tomorrow, one of the seniors from South Range. I believe we should ask her if she should officially change her name to DeChampio.
The champion.
Just thinking. That might be on the table. Might be on the table. Might be one of the best asked questions of this year. So, but the South Range does get a 12-5 victory over Worcester Triway, which, man, were they good?
They're good.
They're good, but not as good as South Range last night.
South Range has been their bugaboo because they won the state championship now 3 years ago in Division 2, and then they dropped down to Division 3, where they had to play South Range in the regional semifinals 2 years ago. They lost that one. Lost the district championship last year, and then this year they get South Range again, and South Range knocks them out again. So from state champions to having to deal with South Range every year, it has not been fun for Triway.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. And you listen, South Range has their own ghosts that they have to live with. We talk about Kirtland a lot when it comes to football season. But I'll tell you what, that's a good softball team over there, Worcester Triway. And South Range coming on, dude. They are coming on at the right time. I do have to I have to point to some people that could have just easily rolled over earlier this season and let the season happen and be as it whatever it may become. But they didn't. They stepped up their game. Jaylee Wilt has had a incredibly tough season. Incredibly tough. Battling through injuries. She came in the number one in the circle for South Range. And ultimately, from her standpoint, she could have just said, you know what? I want to be a pitcher. That's what I've worked my entire life to become. I want to be the number one. And if I'm not going to be the number one, I don't want to do it. That's not what she did. She figured out a way. Sam's talking about football. She figured out a way to make her impact felt, whether it be from a leadership standpoint or whether it be like last night, leading by example and dropping an absolute nuke into center field, depositing it over the center field fence to give her team extend the lead and essentially send them on to the regional semis. Jaylee's a young lady who just you felt awful for because she couldn't. The on button just didn't turn on the way she wanted it to. The throttle wasn't going. It wasn't she was out of gas. She's battling through injury. And guys and girls battle injuries in different ways, right? And she just kept on going. She got checked out. And finally someone said, yeah, like, you're hurt. There's a problem here. And she just kept playing, dude. She kept balling out. And in the interview last night, I wish we had it. You can go to ysnlive.com and check out the story from last night if you want to see it. It's on YouTube as well. She just basically mentioning that she had to find different ways to lead, and she wasn't going to let just settling for wherever the chips fell as they may. She was going to do something about it, and she has. So, hey, Jaylee, I know you're watching. I'm sure your parents are too. We're so proud of you. Incredible job. And there's so many stories like that out there, Ant, but unfortunately that was the only game that was played last night. So that's the only story. That's the only tale we have to tell.
Well, the other thing about Jaylee is, we all remember last year where she was pitching like one of the best pitchers in the area. She went up against champion in the regional finals and pitched 10 innings of shutout softball, completely shut that lineup down. So you go from that to having to struggle through an injury. And the start of the season, I don't know if she necessarily knew she was hurt. It was one of those chronic ones that kind of slowly got a little bit worse. And then, like you said, finally got checked out. And something's physically wrong with you a little bit. But, the start of the season, there was probably a big mental thing going is, am I hurt or am I just not this good anymore?
Well, the state championship didn't go her way.
To kind of go through all that and have to do, like you said, the state championship. So to go through injury and this mental confidence kind of wave that had to hit her is really impressive. To come out and still make impacts on her team. Her bat this year is ridiculous. She leads the team, I believe, in RBIs. Is near the top in average, near the top in RBIs. So what she's done to say, hey, I'm going to make an impact on this team no matter what. That's the eyes of a true leader right there.
I love that Sam says that he needs a YSN kayak. Perhaps, Sam, you need a YSN yacht for the Erie Yacht Club. When we're talking about South Range, I mean, also let you a little backstory. When we do highlights, I don't have the ability to do highlights in like real time and then pin them together so that it's like one long highlight. So I'm given like, here's the 30 seconds that happen. And we're also, as you may or may not know, different social media platforms limit how long the clips can be. So we try to keep clips underneath a minute is like our guideline. So South Range had the bats going last night and, there was doubles and triples and things that we couldn't get to because, I mean, here's the thing. When a home run's hit, you show the home run. Like
Right.
people love home runs. There's 2 home runs hit last night. I didn't, like I mentioned, the struggles to even get anything going last night while I was there. I didn't even get going until it was already 4-0. So, when I texted you, I'm like, dude, I can't. We're toast. Do whatever you can. I'm gonna, update on social as much as I humanly possible, and get interviews, because I'm not gonna travel an hour and 40 minutes and not get anything. Just be like, you know what? I'm going home.
Going home. That's it.
Well, somebody asked me, they're like, you're gonna go home? I was like, no, no. I'm at least gonna go to Dairy Queen, and or not the what was it? Farron took everybody to the dairy. Downton Derriere. That's not what it was.
That's not what it is.
Downton Derriette, I think it's what it was. Derriere. The ice cream was not Derriere. It was money. Second only to the Lisbon Dairy Queen, by the way. Right?
Right.
Yeah. There you go, Garrett. There's your plug. But what I wanted to talk about today, because we don't have any guests scheduled. We have them all scheduled for tomorrow. With Riley, with
Aiden Hill
breaking
from Garfield
news.
going to be on tomorrow too.
Aiden Hill, which, dude, right before he takes on South Range, maybe if he can get a canoe or something to get from Garrettsville over here. But we have
row.
Hey, I don't think you're allowed to say row 3 times faster. There's going to be like Mandy appear.
Where's Riley?
Yeah, Riley pop up, hit another home run. So I think the thing that I want to talk about today is something that I heard earlier this week. Our buddy Ron Potesta was talking about it on his show, and it got me to thinking. And you mentioned there's 16 YSN teams.
Yes.
Vying for a district championship. Now 15 because
now 15.
Because South Range won.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the greatest era of softball our area has ever seen?
I think the spread in divisions helped softball for YSN, because a lot of these teams would have played each other already because of with 4 divisions. There's talent everywhere. There's been talent everywhere in the YSN for a while, but with 7 divisions, now these teams are a little bit more spread out, and they've been able to get to district championships a little bit more easy. So we're seeing more and more teams get the opportunity to play for a title. We have 4 games that are between YSN teams going at each other. So we're guaranteed 4 teams in the regional semifinal. We're guaranteed 1 in the final now because South Range won, and they'll play the winner of Champion versus Poland. But we have 4 all YSN district championship games, and then 12 other district championship games that are YSN teams in it.
So I guess the question, again, is this the greatest softball era? You didn't answer my question, Ant. You danced around it. Is this the greatest softball era in our area's history?
I think so. I think absolutely. I think it's elevated a little bit because of the spread of divisions. That's what I was trying to get at. Like, it's a little bit gassed up because more teams are able to get to the district championship now because there's more divisions and more districts. But it is a very good era in softball right now because of how much talent we have widespread.
Sam saying that St. John softball in their first district final in 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, right on cue. That's exactly what you're talking about. So I guess talent-wise, where does it stand? I mean, we've seen a lot of talent in softball over the years. A lot of talent here in this area. Do you think it's on par? Do you think it's surpassed? Do you think it's a little bit short?
I think this is the best widespread talent year we've had since we started YSN for softball.
That was such a political answer. I saw right through it because I know some of the people you're thinking of right now. Okay, so in the last 8 years, this is the best you've seen.
Widespread, yes. Maybe not like if you took the total talent, but like widespread through multiple teams, multiple divisions. Absolutely.
I mean, you and I are having. I mean, most people know what's going to happen with our MVP. We've talked about it 3 times now on our show. Now that we're talking about it again,
right?
But I mean, I don't know that we've ever seen entities like we've seen this year. Like you see the Caitlin Pleskas, you see Gabby Gradishar, you see some of the, I mean, we just talked about Jaylee, but and I got to tell you, the underclassmen have been just as impressive as the seniors this year. And I don't think that has ever happened in the history of the network.
We've had conversations about MVP. We're also going to have a conversation between freshmen of the year too, because we have Addison Marker from Maplewood that's doing a lot of good things in the circle, as an ERA that's under 1.2 and has hit like 6 home runs and 30 plus RBIs. But then you have Addie Rudge from Boardman that is just on an absolute tear, hitting 500 with like 7 home runs and like, I think 40 plus RBIs. So you got a couple of freshmen that are vying for freshman of the year right now too. So there's a lot of conversations that have to happen when we're talking postseason awards. And that's never really happened before. I think we had a race for pitcher of the year back in Bree Kohler's senior year, because Bree Callow was also doing amazing things. It seemed like those two were throwing perfect games back and forth with each other. So I remember that was a run to the finish with those two. But I can't remember a year where every kind of postseason award is kind of like, okay, but there's multiple people that could win it.
I think the majority of awards have been won.
Lock, stock,
but it's one of those things. I hate doing them like this because you're tempted by the postseason. The postseason is a mistress, dude. You're married to that regular season, what they did, what the performance they put, and then all of a sudden this smoking hot babe called the postseason comes along, and there's incredible performances, and you're like, well, maybe we overlooked this one. Maybe that's, but we like, it's so hard because yes, the postseason should count towards awards because that's when the damage is done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everybody talks about district championships now and not necessarily conference championships, which I don't agree with, but it's the bigger title. It is. But is it now that there's 7 divisions? Are the districts turning into the sectionals?
Now they are, because some teams have to win 2 games to get a district championship. And that's not their fault. It's just the size of their division, the size of their district.
I'm really interested from the standpoint. Like, I do believe that this is the greatest era of softball this area has ever had. From a standpoint of talent, I think it's as good. I think we oftentimes look at, okay, well, this player against this team, like let's say, I don't know, the 06 to 10, anybody, you look at softball, pretty good. Some big standouts from those classes. But how would they go against some of the girls now? Right. And it's easy to look back and it's the Mason Dixon versus Rocky Balboa, right? You can't line that up. Like, that'll never happen. It's going to be, well, we were better because we ended up doing this with not as many teams. Well, the argument on the other side is you're going through more teams now than ever. Like, you're running through these teams at a big clip, and like the wear and tear that it has on your body. And I'm going to argue that girls are playing softball at a higher frequency than they were 15 years ago.
Yep.
Is there any doubt about that?
Travel is a lot more apparent now, because back even 15, 20 years ago, there might have been, 10 travel teams you can go to. Now there's like 50 or 60 travel teams you can go to. If you want to play travel softball, you're going to find a spot for you. Back at 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was more like, if you're really good, you'll play travel softball. But other than that, it's pretty much you're just playing rec ball. But now travel softball has become such a big thing with so many entities, so many teams. There's a negative aspect to that. But the positive aspect to that is you're playing a lot more softball, which means the talent is going to be a lot more widespread and deep.
Well, the more the input, the more the output too. You know what I mean? Like you're playing more softball, which means you should be getting better at softball. Same thing with baseball. Same thing with anything. If you do it more, you should be getting better. If you're not, that's a different conversation. You probably need to be having with the lady or the fella in the mirror. I think it's here we go. Sam, here's a hot take. Sam, I think that Eric Hughes has taken over the 4-4 Sports Show account. If you can pay it, you can play it. Ooh. How do you feel about that one?
He's not wrong.
But nothing.
He's not wrong.
I disagree in the sense that what are we playing for? Like, yes, you can play. You can, if you pay for anything, you can play, right? There's, like Ted DiBiase said, everyone's got a price. That was a pretty good one. That was hey, I'm clapping for me on that one. This one's for me. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. I'm gonna tell you that yes, he's not wrong. You're right, Anthony. Sam is right. But I also think that, like I think you've said it before, a $500 bat doesn't fix a 50-cent swing.
Right.
You know, like there's an element of you can play, but you can also get mercied. And you can play, but what level?
Yeah. And the problem is there are some travel entities out there, coaches or organizations, that will tell you you're really good and you should be on this team. They'll call their team Elite Gold Platinum Plus, and you'll give them $15,000 for the summer. And then all of a sudden you are getting mercied every summer, and your parents are sitting there like, wait, we're supposed to be developing talent. This is supposed to be like a D1 softball team. And all of a sudden you quickly realize you're not there anymore.
Well, Elite Gold Platinum Plus is going to send us a nasty email, but I'll put it out there and say that at the end of the day, and I'll tell you, just from being a parent from 1 year of 8U, not even a full year of 8U, you see it and you go, okay, there's some teams that stack their teams. Mm-hmm. You know, they get an abundance of talent. There's other teams that are just there to learn the game, like the novice, intermediate, and advanced teams. Like you see that. Parents don't. It doesn't matter for parents, and we're getting on a completely different topic, which is I'm fine with because we're flowing. But when you look at this, you parents, you have to recognize, like, if you're on a novice team and you're learning, it's not about the dubs. It's not about the wins and the losses. It's about getting better and getting, hopefully, to that intermediate team or just having fun and learning the game and doing what sports is about. Then you have the intermediate team where, hey, we'd like to win some games, but we're going to get better. And, hey, we're going to enjoy each other's company. Like, the parents like each other for the most part. The kids love each other for the most part. And then you've got what you call elite. I call advanced. Those people are psychopaths. Like they're all elite. Even if they're not, they're all elite. And they're winning or murdering each other. Like essentially, that's what it comes down to. Like that's it's
a bunch of sharks in a tank, you know. And if they're all getting fed, that's fine. Once they don't get fed, they're going after each other for meat.
And they'll fight you about anything. The lineup. I just had this conversation the other day. The lineup, where the kid's batting, where they're playing in the field, how many opportunities like coaches can create those opportunities. You know what, little Jimmy, today we're going to give you 4 opportunities with the bases loaded, and we're going to see how that goes for you. We're going to help you out. That you can't do that. Now there's coaches that'll hold up base runners because there's somebody coming. Like I've never in a million years. I've seen it along the way, even going back to quote unquote daddy ball. Whenever I was growing up, before daddy ball even existed, as it does today, dude. When coaches, third base coaches, would hold up runners at second and third just to give a kid an opportunity for RBIs to pad stats. Before social media even was created, you were still a scumbag.
You were still
real sack of subs.
Real sack of subs.
Real sack of subs. Like I'm talking like a big bag of subs. That I hate that more than anything. Like that, if you want to send me off, do that. Hold up runners. And I'm not talking about like if a game is out of contention, like if it's a mercy and you're just going station to station, I get it. But if you got a kid that hits a nuke into the outfield, into a gap, and you just go, hey, hold up here. Little Johnny's coming. He's going to hit you in. No. Bad. Don't do that.
I am running right past your stop sign. I'm going home. Deal with it.
But you can't do that because then the coaches have a lot of power, dude.
I know.
A lot of power. And I'm not saying anything bad about coaches, but if you're that guy, like, you got to look yourself in the mirror. If you're that guy that holds up runners so somebody else can get the RBI, pal, check your code at the door. Turn in your whistle. Like, that's the stuff. All this other stuff going on in the universe right now with sports and the little salt of sports and that's in it. That stuff, get it out of there. This is the real meat in the sandwich, in the sub. I don't even know what the comparison is in basketball and football. Basketball would be pass little Johnny the ball.
Yeah, like, hey, we're running the play for Johnny every play. I don't care if he's open or not. Throw him the ball.
That's the problem. That's a real problem. That's when you talk about some of these teams and some of the issues with, we're talking about the era of softball being the best. I think it's the best because we have a lot of knowledge,
right,
in our area of softball. And I'm talking about a lot of knowledge. I'm talking about selflessness. Yes, you're gonna find those coaches out there. Everybody, listen. If you're listening to this right now, there's a coach that is firmly implanted in your head right now as we speak, who you think we're talking about, but we're not. Like, this is very general. This is on you. Don't you come at me. This is on your psyche, not mine. But it's true. It absolutely is true that I think that this is the highest. Would you agree with that? From a educational standpoint, our knowledge is much higher and IQ is much higher of diamond sports right now than it has been. I would argue in the last 20 years, 25 years. Take it back to 2000.
When I first started YSN, we started going around softball, and you meet all the coaches, and I was looking around. I'm like, there are some of these coaches out here that just obviously don't know the sport of softball. You could tell by the way the decisions they made. But now you look around, and you're like, that's high IQ. There's high IQ. There's high IQ. That person knows what they're doing. That person knows the sport. Like the quality of coaching in softball, widespread in this area, has gone up. We were talking about the talent earlier, the coaching aspect of softball, and the amount of really, really good IQ softball coaches have gone way up since years past.
But it also helps that they're the standard, and they're downloading to the seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen. And even when they're hurt, even when they're injured, they're getting mental reps. Like I was not aware of this. There are teams and clubs out there that raise money. This is awesome to me. And I'm not going to say who it is. They raise money for virtual reality headsets. So even when your players are injured, they're still taking pitches. Like, this is a real conversation I literally just had 2 days ago. They put the virtual reality headset on, and they don't have a bat. They don't have a joystick. They don't have anything. They're just literally watching pitches go in and calling them out. Ball, strike, and they're seeing pitches. That alone, even though it's not costing you any physical traits or liabilities or anything like that, you're seeing pitches in a batter's box.
Yep.
Virtually. And they're getting better, and that is a rep. People don't account for that stuff. Understanding the game, you talked about it, the IQ of these coaches, because they're teaching the game. It's not just we're doing this, because back in the day it was because I said so, like a parent. Now it's, well, we're doing that because if this happens, this is what it leads to. If this happens, this is what it leads to. And here's the opportunities here, here, and here. Different conversation, Ant. Different conversation, which I think high tide raising all boats. This is why our area has become so good at softball, is because we have talented softball players and incredibly talented softball coaches that are raising the game for all their players.
I mean, you look at South Range, and we're talking about 6 in a row, but this program, ever since Coach Rose and Coach Farron kind of got back together and started coaching as a unit again, once Carly DeRose back in her freshman year in 2010, they've won 11 district championships since 2010. So 11 out of 15 with those two together.
The mega powers.
They've dominated softball in the area. They really have.
Which one would DeRose be? Would he be Macho Man or Hulk Hogan?
You know what? I couldn't say DeRose would be Hulk Hogan because he's never had facial hair. So he'd be
DeRose?
I've never seen him with the goatee. Well, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, he has had the goatee. Yeah.
He's got a beard right now. It's all gray
right now. It's all gray. I don't know why my mind went to DeRose while I was in high school. That's why I was still thinking. No, you're right. My brain was gone. But I still think DeRose is Macho Man Randy Savage. And Farron.
I would agree with that. Farron could be Hulk Hogan. But they are the mega powers. I mean, 11 out of 15. I think you deserve a tag team name. For sure. The mega powers are killing it, man. 11 district championships in 15 years.
Yep. There was just 2 separate 2-year gaps. 2012 and 13 they missed, and then I believe 17 and 18 were 2 years where they missed. And then every other year.
Can't count 20, can you?
No, because 20, no one. I don't count 20. So I guess you could say 14 seasons, 11 district championships, since there was.
That's even better.
It's even better.
I like that math. I'm not good at it, but I know that number's bigger. I mean, that's incredible for them to have that much success, and they will be the first to tell you it's about the girls, it's about the program. Mm-hmm. But when you look, nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about if you won 11 out of 14 district championships in football, would we not say that is a dynasty?
I think so. And the equivalent of, I guess, district championship would be in football would be like what, making it to the regional semis. So winning a couple of games in football, but consistently being in that Sweet 16 for the state. Because there's not really a district in football, but yeah, I mean, if you consistently got like right to the doorstep of getting to state every year, and you were beating all the local teams to do it, you would be a local dynasty.
I think we got a dynasty. I think we've uncovered a dynasty, and nobody is talking about it. Why do you think? Here we go. Here's an interesting conversation for you. Why do you think diamond sports such as baseball and softball do not get the recognition that the other sports do?
We've talked about it. I think there's a little bit of end of the school year fatigue that goes on with not just the administrators and not, OHSA. Of course, we talked about how they treat spring sports and why. But I think, there's also media members and writers and that are just like, we've just gone 60 and a 20 for basketball and football season. And now let's just calm down a little bit for baseball and softball, which is wrong, which is why we don't do it at YSN. But at the same time, I think there's a little bit of, fatigue after a very long fall season with football and then a very long basketball season from November all the way to February with basketball. It's almost like, okay, summer's almost here. Let's just take a breath. Softball and baseball and tennis and track, that's there, but they're not revenue sports anyway. So let's just take a minute. Let's just take a breath.
Well, and Sam's saying, this is interesting. 6 weeks for a whole season doesn't allow for much time to hype it up. I disagree.
Yeah.
In the sense that that should be the most hype sport there is, because it's all action all the time.
Right.
You know, people complain about baseball being 162 games, but if the opposite were in that same sentence, it was 35 games instead of 162, it'd be the most exciting thing ever.
Right.
And this is what we have with baseball and softball, and we sit there and we still go, nah, but and I don't think it has anything to do with the game. I think the game of baseball and softball are incredibly challenging and exciting at times. People talk about, well, there's a lot of time between pitches. There's a lot of time. Okay, but let's be honest. Football is the same exact thing. You're fighting for 4 seconds, and then you've got 30 seconds or 40 seconds. I forget what it is to talk about the next game.
You shared a graph with the group chat when someone was making that argument about like the time between plays and football was the most because of how much time's actually between action and how much percentage of the game is actually a play. It's way down for football because it's like you said, a 4-second play, and then you have 35-second play clock where they're huddling but for some reason for football, probably because it's so right in your face and it's so physical that it doesn't really feel that way. Like it's not tangible that you're sitting there waiting 35 seconds for the next play. It doesn't feel that way. And for some reason it does in baseball. Like baseball before the pitch clock, it just felt drag. Maybe because no one was moving and you just kind of stood there and watched the pitcher stand and the batter stand and wait. Maybe that's why it kind of felt mentally long, even though it wasn't compared to other sports. But it's one of those things, perception matters as much as reality.
Well, perception usually. I mean, when there's smoke, there's fire,
Right.
typically. But it's one of those things. I think you would never be able to do this. And I think football gets a pass because you're playing football normally in whatever conditions there are. Normally. Now, we've seen cancellations, since COVID. We've already weighed in on those, and we probably will again in the fall. But it's a situation where if baseball was played in a controlled environment, if we had a dome on a Friday night at 7 p.m., do you think it would be, or softball in the same token, do you think it would be something that people would come out and see, or the ratings would be higher to go watch a softball or baseball game?
That's very interesting because then you'd get the percentage of people that are like, I don't want to go out tonight. It's cold and rainy, or it's cloudy. It's cold. I don't want to go out to a game tonight. But they go out for football in the cold, in the rain, in the snow. So you just wonder what that tipping point is. And maybe if it's once a week, maybe that's one of the tipping points. Like, hey, we only get 10 football games and they're once a week. Well, let's just go and brave the cold, because if we don't, we miss one of those 10 games. And for softball, it's like, they play 27 more times. We'll be fine. We will miss this one,
I do think if they scheduled things on Tuesdays and Fridays for baseball and Mondays and Wednesdays, or have a on Fridays, it's a boy-girl doubleheader. I think that'd be very interesting. I think that would be exciting. Take the basketball scheduling map and apply it to baseball and softball. Now, obviously, you look at lights and stuff like that and time. Yeah, you'd have to have some luxuries, certainly. But Anthony, I say this. Well, I talk to my wife all the time about stuff like this, and people say, well, people don't want to go to baseball games and softball games anymore. I disagree, because every year we have a little party for baseball and softball, and we've done incredible numbers, and people are paying to get in. This isn't just a show up and sit
Right.
down and do your thing. Like, we're paying. Obviously, there's charity involved, but they're paying to get in, and they're watching good and really good baseball and softball. And I think if there was, and I'm sorry, Anthony, Sam says that there's not enough time to hype it. I think if we were able to hype it, I'll poke us in the chest and say we should do more. I think more people would be excited about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I really do think that we have, and studies and statistics show us, and we've said it almost like nauseatingly, we are the tops when it comes to baseball and softball. Like, it is the number one sport that we're sending students to the next level in playing. So, i.e., they're getting some portion of their education either paid for or interest to go get a further their education via baseball and softball. So why isn't it celebrated as much as the other ones? If this is truly the greatest era in softball history, and I believe it, and I believe it's the greatest era in baseball history in our region, bar none. Yeah, even go talk to your pops, go talk to your grandpappy. It's better than the ones they had. What is this? Everything else is an evening event.
There's a little bit of truth to that, Sam. It's hard to get to a 5 o'clock game. We know that. We've dealt with that with some of our announcers that have day jobs. But I feel like there's something more than just that, because we've seen some games that are 5 o'clock starts. So maybe it's against two really good teams where people show up. So they can show up to that, but they're not showing up to other stuff.
The only hole I can see, Ant, is the consistency. Because when games are canceled, people get pissed.
Yeah.
Like, we have it with our announcers, right? They said, hey, we're going to do this game on Thursday. Well, guess what? We're not doing it
Friday now.
And now it's Friday. And then it's Saturday. And then they're like, yeah, I'm not doing this every night. So it comes in bunches. The rain this time of year, it's like 2-3 day stretches. And ADs are, first off, they're all psychopaths in a good way for accepting the job and the challenges, but it's also a situation where, like, poor Aaron Heasley's texted me 3 times in the last 3 days, this game, move it, kicking the can down the road. And it's like, man, maybe you should like name somebody on your team Mother Nature so you can win one, like that's like, get one for your team so you can get these games in.
Mm-hmm.
But I think consistency might be one of the bigger issues. I don't think people listen, as a parent, when coach says you have to be there at 5:15 for practice, you're like, how do you do this? Like, when normal people work 9 to 5 jobs, how do you manage this? But then when it's, I know in Ashtabula, in Sam's case, a lot of 4:30 games.
Yeah.
Which is why YSN is such a godsend, and that's why they tell us it is, because they can watch on their way to the game, or while they're still working, they can watch their son or daughter play. We're the answer once again.
Man, we keep popping up.
I hate when that happens. All right. Swiney says, that's what I was going to say. It's hard to hype up a game when you're not sure if you're going to actually get the game played, rescheduled, or even rescheduled at all.
Just like, take last night, for example, we advertised there was going to be a broadcast. We were gassed up about it, and then show up and oops, Mother Nature hit. We can't broadcast.
I'm just going to take solace in the fact that Mike Swinehart backed me up for once, and that makes me feel like a real smart person today. Swiney might be one of the smartest people I've ever met. Like, he's got his mind is a steel trap. Everything that goes in there never comes out. I won one. I got one.
I won one.
I won one today. Swiney, we love you. We appreciate you so much. So much. But we talked about the All-Star game, Ant, as we segue toward the end of our show. Getting a little, how do I say this? Catching a little heat for our All-Star game for baseball on June 15th, which is Father's Day. We're sorry. Oh, we'll start there. we're sorry. Not ideal for us either. There's something we want to. Obviously, it's time to spend time with your family, with your father or father-like figures in your life and celebrate them. And I certainly would love to do the same. And can I tell you a little secret? I'm looking forward to doing the same. I'm looking forward to spending a great night at the ballpark with some of the best dads that I know. Some of the guys that I look to and father-like figures. For those of you moms that are doing it, and rocking it. Because, listen, I had a mom that wore both hats. She's out there slinging it with me in the backyard and was a father-like figure in times that my dad was working or whatever, in the sports world. I am, here we go. We're getting some love back. This is what I'm talking about. Who cares? Best place to be for dads. Thanks, Bern. Denise chiming in saying, I'm a mom. No place I'd rather be but watching my boy do what he loves. That's kind of, I've had a few of those, Denise, and I appreciate it. My simple thing is, if your son is invited to play in the All-Star game, first off, what a season they've had, right? What an honor it is to be asked to play. We're trying to get every school represented. Some schools are going to be represented more than others because of the seasons that they've had. Mm-hmm. That's natural, right? We're not getting into that, diving into that today. But what I'm going to tell you is we had probably 7 dates that we were looking at. And 6 of them were, 7 of them were all taken. 6 of them were hard nose. And we have such a great relationship with Bob Scene Park that the last thing we want to do is change the venue. Like, we have opportunities to change the venue, and we're like, unless we absolutely have to, we're not going to, because we love Scene Park, Scott Rourke, Bob Beam, the whole crew out there. We're grateful. But their model changed this year. So they're doing tournaments during the weekends and league during the week, Monday through Thursday. So it became a little bit more challenging to find a day that wasn't going to be tournament. I was against Sundays in general. And then it turned into, well, you only have essentially Sundays to choose from. And then I was certainly against Father's Day. I had the wrong date. At first, I was, I think it was the 22nd I was looking at, and I was like, well, I don't want to do it on Father's Day. Okay, no problem. We'll do it on the 15th. That's Father's Day. My bad.
Hey, it's his first legal Father's Day. Give him a break.
Yeah, I'm excited. But the more and more I got to think about it, and some of the people that I talked to about it were really excited about it being on Father's Day, because unlike Mother's Day, it's like dad's on the grill, right? He's running the show. He's making sure that there's, food and, everybody's doing their part to make mom feel special that day, as she should. Mm-hmm. Father's Day is a little bit different. Father's Day feels a lot like every other day, if I'm being quite honest. But that special token, as it was explained to me, and in an emotional way, by the way, there's no place, much like Denise said, there's no place they would rather be than watching the person that made them a father do what they love more than anything in front of the most, I'll say it, the most elite baseball talent our area has to offer.
Yeah.
And do it in a celebratory way. Because if you've ever been to our All-Star games, some people think it might get a little hairy. I think it gets a little crazy. It's fun. It's exciting. And if you can't make it, we're sorry that that's the case. And we completely understand that you want to be with your family. But most of these dads are like, hey, I think make this every year. Do this every year on Father's Day, because you get to go hang out at Scene Park, go eat a chicken wrap, have some fun, be with the people that you appreciate. Because let's face it, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. This is the slam dunk for me, why we're 100% committed to it. Most of these families are on the ball fields on Father's Day for the last 12 years anyway.
Right.
Most of them started the 8U, I guess it'd be 10 years. Most of them start at 8U, and they're already doing Father's Day games. So it's not that I don't feel bad, because I still I don't like taking holidays necessarily away from people or making them make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really excited. The more I get it, the more I look into it. We got the new logo again this year, so I'm excited about that. It's at Scene Park. Neon shirts.
Ooh.
Yep, neon shirts this year. And then we're coming with the softball. We're waiting on. We think it's 18th. We're thinking
18th is, I think, what we're aiming for, the Wednesday after Father's Day, to avoid the travel scene.
We'll stamp that when it's done, but that's still in the hands of YSU. So we'll let you know when that comes to fruition. Hopefully, it doesn't take too much longer. I feel like we're behind the 8 ball this year. Usually, these are at least a week later. I think we were in July one time, were we not?
Yeah, the one time we were all the way in July.
That's dangerous too, because kids are leaving.
The last couple of years, we were like, okay, let's just do it the week after. Try to do it the week after state championships. That's what we try. We try our best. We try our best to make sure that the kids that are competing for state still have an opportunity to come and be in our All-Star game.
I can make you one promise though: we will never play an All-Star game for softball or baseball on Mother's Day. That won't happen.
1, because the season's still going, and 2,
bingo,
because mothers will come at us with pitchforks.
That's what I like to call safe bets here on YSN. No, but we've already started the invitations. Those will go on for the next couple weeks, I would imagine, maybe even up to the day of the game. And then, naturally, we're excited to have it. And I think it's the biggest party of the year. I think our All-Star games across the board are better than anybody's.
Yeah.
And I would put our All-Star games up, especially some of them we've had in the past. I'll never forget the Michael Morrow moment.
Yeah.
That was special. We'll see if Coach Hake could bust out the American flag. I think that'd be cool.
That looked really cool in the outfield.
6 p.m. is when the start. Well, 6 p.m. is when we will start. Let's put it that way. Not necessarily the first pitch. So if you're holding on for we're going to do a little song and dance in the intros and all that stuff. And they'll put some idiot with the hat on backwards to talk a little bit.
We'll play 9 innings like we always do. Everyone will get at least, if it goes away, it's gone. At least 2 at-bats. Everyone will play. We'll be fine.
You want some breaking news?
Breaking news.
We got the coaches.
We got the coaches locked in.
Coaches
Who we got?
locked in.
Who we got?
Well, if you're interested in the theme work that we do here at YSN, you'll be real interested in this one because it is Father's Day, as we've explained ad nauseum. And to my knowledge, there's only one father and son duo that are out there doing their thing, sometimes pitting against one another. And by golly, on Father's Day, they're going to do it again. Bryce Franken of Columbiana and Mark Franken of Heartland Christian going head to head on Father's Day. Loser's got to clean up the dishes. Pretty sure that's the way this goes. Hey, but in all seriousness, sincerity, Mark, Bryce, thank you. And I think this is going to be awesome. We're going to have them on the show to talk about it. What it's like to pit against each other. Your dad, your son, the chess match that is. Maybe we'll get Chase involved somehow, see if he's home. That'd be cool. Bryce is a dad now as well. So maybe, hey, might need an arm. Might need an arm. Bring baby Franken out of the pen. I mean, genetically, they're probably already better than half of the kids that, they're up against now. Anyway,
they got the DNA.
They've got the DNA. So, yeah, June 15th, Father's Day, Bryce Franken, Mark Franken, their all-star teams pitting against each other. We will have the draft right here on YSN. Certainly, the jerseys don't matter, so we could have the draft that Friday.
Yeah, the jerseys, the basketball is the only sport where the jerseys matter. So Jerseys don't matter in baseball. You wear whatever you want, as long as it's your team.
I'm excited about it. I think it's go time.
Maybe we should
Now
try to get a new Wheel of Destiny though. It did not work in basketball.
Yeah, that wheel stunk. Maybe I can get a. I don't want to get a real wheel. That's a lot of work. Like I'm not a. That might be a Sarah Yoakley craft project thing. The Wheel of Destiny.
We have a real wheel of fortune in the studio. Let's spin it.
I want I want one of those giant ones they use on Price is Right.
We have one of the Prices Right wheels where you have to like.
Big money, no whammies. We'll get it figured out. Probably not, but we're gonna say we're gonna get it figured out. Most likely, it will be the same stupid Wheel of Destiny we've used for the last year and a half. But hey, makes for good television, makes for good streaming here on YSN. All right, pal. We broke some news today. We talked about softball and baseball being the best era that it's ever been right here in our region. We solved the world's problems today, Ant. We solved the world's problems.
They're all done.
Every single one of them. And guess what? We're going to do it again tomorrow. So come on, problems. Bring it. We are just absolutely kicking tail and taking names. And I love it. Love it. Some great interviews coming up over the next week. Dude, we are cooking with gas. Cooking. You keep glitching. I don't know if it's me or you, but we're going to get out of here before it goes right. No, you don't have to apologize, pal. Don't worry about it. It is time that we say thank you to our sponsors, the great people at Toyota of Warren and our friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet. And tell us a little more, if you would, about our friends at Greenwood Chevrolet and why they are so important to you.
Well, we're talking about the greatest era of baseball and softball that our area has ever seen. There's the best dealership our area has ever seen, too. It's sitting right down there in Austin Town. It's Greenwood Chevrolet. They'll go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. One of the ways they go the extra mile for you is their service department. They want to make sure your car is in tip-top shape for your summer vacation. It's coming up very soon. I know the weather doesn't feel like it, but I promise you, summer is coming. And you'll take that car or vehicle to your favorite destination. You want to make sure that it gets your family there safely. And the only way to do that is to make sure Greenwood Chevrolet gets it in the best shape possible with their service department. They're also in the market of giving you a new or used vehicle. That Chevy Trax, 2025 Chevy Trax. It looks slick. It's in their lot. Better go check it out. Give it a test drive. Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. They go the extra mile for you.
And you're going the extra mile, but we're going places at Toyota of Warren. Let me tell you where we're going. We're going right down to Toyota of Warren. We're going to knock on that door. No, you know what? Your family. Open the dang-on door yourself. Walk in. Right straight ahead of you is going to be Tino Merlo. You're going to walk right up to him. You're going to say, Mr. Merlo, DJ Yoakley and Anthony Hartwig sent us here, and we're so grateful to be here. Can you help us find a new or used Toyota? And they're going to say, by golly, we can. He's going to stand up. He's going to help you. He's going to take you over to Chuck. Chuck's going to find you the perfect vehicle for the perfect price. He's going to write you up. And then you're going to head on back to Jimmy Wilson, one of my favorite people in the world, probably watching this show right now. He's going to write you. He's going to make sure that you're not paying too much for a car that you love so much. He's going to make sure that you are taken care of. So that way, when you leave the dealership, hey, you know what? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fresh. I got new wheels, 4 new wheels right underneath me. Let's go to GetGo. Let's go grab something quick. Got to get back home. Got to watch YSN. Got to watch our kids on YSN. That's why when you go to Toyota of Warren, you're going places, and not just with 4 wheels underneath you. You're going places in life. Toyota of Warren. Go places. How was that? Right off the top of the dome.
We're getting really good at that, DJ.
Hey,
Journalism.
that's what we do.
Period.
Journalism. Just try a little bit. Try harder. And our friends at Joe Dickey Electric. Let's not count them out. Oh my goodness, don't count them out. Had a chance to talk to Eric Carlson real quick this morning. Ooh, love that guy. The head honcho over there at Joe Dickey Electric, keeping the tradition alive and keeping it growing. What a great local business, Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical. If you're thinking somebody else is, hey, you're wrong. You're wrong. There are everything electrical, and you can visit them. Hey, get this. You ready? Are you sitting down? 24/7. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, damn it. 24/7, 365. You can visit them on the web at DickeyElectric.com.
Man, I just want to make that joke my spark because that almost knocked me out before the spark even came on. I had to get out some coughs during that bump. Always sitting, buddy. Oh man, what a great day! My spark today is going to be going out to the Georgia Tech baseball team, opening up the ACC tournament. They're the 1 seed. They won the regular season ACC, and hopefully they can bring Danny Hall the ACC tournament championship in his last season of his glorious 32-year career at Georgia Tech. So let's go Yellow Jackets.
Thanks, Coach Danny. Appreciate you. Yeah, my spark's going to go to you too, man. That was a good joke at the end. You got me. Got me good. Not going to lie. In all reality, my spark is to listen. I got to look around last night in Dalton, and the umbrellas for some, the hoods were up. I know we rip on parents a lot, and parents, sometimes we deserve it. But to look around and see so many supportive parents, that's the cool stuff, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about the All-Star game and seeing the amount of people in the stands, parents that just love their kid doing what they do. To show up and support something that your kid loves, no matter if they're injured, no matter if they're playing, no matter if they're playing well, or no matter if they're on top of the world, batting 1,000, striking everybody out, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. The fact that parents are showing up, that's my spark, man. You got to keep showing up because you're showing your kids something that they're going to need and want and look back on later on in life. So to all the parents that show up, thank you. You're killing it. I know people aren't telling you. You're doing a great job. Keep on showing up because that's the hardest part. That is our show. And great job. Appreciate you as always. Mm-hmm. No guest to thank today. So I guess we'll thank our commenters. Bernie Franzaglio, Mike Swinehart, Denise Kurlick, of course, Sam Torres. There's one in there that's real interesting that we won't shine a light on, but hey, YouTube, you can go head on over though. That's a wonderful screen name. Wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. But that's going to do it for us today. Jam-packed show tomorrow on a Friday. Riley DeChancio will join us. You said Aiden Hill at the end of the show.
Yep.
And a surprise. We got a surprise for you. You're going to have to tune in. I'm not even going to market it. You're going to have to tune in to see exactly what that surprise is tomorrow. It'll leave you spotty. I've said too much. I've said too much.
No more questions.
I've gone too far. Next question. Ant, may the sports be with you, pal.
We're moving on to Cincinnati.
May the sports be with you.
You too, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.